My name is Emily Carter, and I'm 29 years old. What should have been just another ordinary weekend turned into the most nerve-shattering, career-threatening moment of my life. It all started with one small request from my younger brother, Daniel. He wanted to borrow what he thought was just a cheap necklace for his big date, but within hours, that simple favor spiraled into chaos when I realized the piece around his neck wasn't costume jewelry at all. It was a $2 million company asset entrusted to me. Before I continue this story, let me know where you're watching from right now, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Trust me, you'll want to hear this through to the end, because the lesson I learned about family, trust, and responsibility will stay with me for the rest of my life. To understand why this necklace was even in my possession, you need to know a little about me and the world I work in. I'm a corporate acquisitions manager for a luxury jewelry firm based in New York City. My job involves handling high-value items, rare diamonds, heirloom collections, museum-grade pieces, often transporting them between exhibitions, private clients, and secure vaults. It's the kind of career people imagine when they think of glossy magazines, champagne events, sparkling diamonds under bright lights, and deals worth millions sealed with a handshake. But behind the glamour is a constant weight of responsibility. One mistake, one lapse in judgment, and not only could my reputation shatter, but my company could lose everything. That necklace wasn't mine. It belonged to the firm. It was a centerpiece for an upcoming auction, part of a collection insured for more money than I could earn in 20 lifetimes. The only reason it was in my apartment that weekend was logistics. The vault was under maintenance. The insurance company required a hand-to-hand chain of custody, and I was scheduled to deliver it Monday morning. I had triple-checked the security case, documented everything, and locked it in the small safe I keep at home. My parents know what I do, of course, but they never fully grasp the pressure. My mom still says things like, "It must be fun playing with pretty jewels all day." My dad worries I'll get robbed in the subway, and my younger brother, Daniel, well, let's just say he's never been the responsible one. Daniel is 26, charming, impulsive, and has what I'd call expensive taste on a free spirit budget. While I spent my 20s building a career, Daniel bounced between startups, music gigs, and side hustles. He's the kind of guy who can walk into a party knowing no one and leave with 10 new friends. People love him for a night. But responsibility? That's never been his strong suit. Our relationship has always been complicated. I love him. He's my brother. But I've also been the one covering his missed rent payments, driving him home when he forgot his car at bars, and smoothing things over with our parents when his choices blew up. Part of me resents it, but part of me can't help protecting him. Maybe it's because when our dad lost his job during the 2008 recession, I stepped into the reliable child role, while Daniel was allowed to remain the golden boy. So when he came to my apartment that Friday afternoon, grinning ear to ear about a date with a woman he'd been waiting his whole life for, I already knew he wanted something. "Em, you've got to help me out," he said, leaning against my kitchen counter like he owned the place. "This girl, Sophia, she's incredible. Way out of my league. I can't mess this up." I poured us coffee and raised an eyebrow. "What do you need, Daniel? Flowers? A pep talk? An actual job?" He laughed, brushing off the jab. No, just something to make an impression. Like jewelry. Don't you have some of those necklaces lying around from work?" Immediately, alarms went off in my head. I shook my head. "They're not mine. They're company property, insured, tracked. Not an option." But Daniel has always had a way of pushing past no with charm. He walked into my living room, glancing around until his eyes landed on the small safe tucked in the corner. "Come on, Em. You've got dozens of those. One simple chain, just for tonight. No one will know." "Daniel, I can't—" "Please," he interrupted, his voice softer now. "This isn't just another date. I think she's the one. Don't you want me to finally settle down? You've always said I should grow up, right? Let me show her. I can be serious. Just lend me something simple. It's not like you'll get in trouble. That line, "it's not like you'll get in trouble," made me clench my jaw. Because the truth was, if anything happened to that necklace, I wouldn't just get in trouble. I could lose my career, face legal action, and be blacklisted from an industry I'd worked a decade to break into. But in that moment, watching his pleading eyes, I made the mistake I'll regret forever. I unlocked the safe, pulled out a small, black velvet box, and handed it to him. "This is nothing flashy, okay? Just a simple necklace. Return it first thing tomorrow." He opened the box and whistled. "Perfect. Thanks, sis. You're the best." What I didn't realize then was that the necklace I'd given him, mistakenly thinking it was one of the lower value pieces, was in fact the crown jewel of the collection. A $2 million vintage diamond pendant once owned by European royalty. That night, I tried not to think about it. I convinced myself it was fine. Daniel would wear it, impress his date, and bring it back. Simple. But around midnight, my phone buzzed with an Instagram notification. Out of curiosity, I opened the app and froze. There was Daniel, grinning with Sophia at a rooftop bar. He was wearing the necklace, not tucked discreetly under his shirt, but front and center, sparkling under fairy lights as if it were a spotlight. He'd even tagged her in the post. "She's worth every diamond." My stomach dropped. Hundreds of likes, comments pouring in. "Wow, baller move. Is that Cartier? Bro, you're killing it." Each photo felt like a ticking time. Bomb. Because if anyone in the industry saw it, and someone always does, questions would be asked. And I had no answers. I stared at my phone, frozen, my heart pounding so loud it drowned out every other thought. Daniel wasn't just wearing the necklace. He was flaunting it, posting it online, broadcasting it to everyone in his orbit with zero awareness of the danger he'd just unleashed. I dialed his number immediately. He answered on the third ring, his voice smug. "Em, you should see her face. Sophia's blown away. This necklace, genius move. You're saving my love life. Right now." "Daniel," I hissed, keeping my voice low though my apartment was empty. "Do you realize what you've done? That necklace isn't a prop. It's not from Zara. It's insured for $2 million. Silence. Then laughter. "Stop exaggerating. $2 million? Come on. It looks nice, but it's not that nice." "Daniel, I'm not joking. That pendant belonged to a European duchess. It's the centerpiece of an auction in 3 days. If anything happens to it, if it's scratched, if it's stolen, I don't just lose my job. I go to court." For the first time, his confidence cracked. "Wait. You're serious?" "Yes. Get back here. Now." "I can't just leave. The night's barely started. She'll think I'm blowing her off. Look, I'll be careful, okay? I'll text you when I'm home." Before I could respond, the call ended. He had hung up. That night, I didn't sleep. I refreshed Instagram like a maniac, watching his story updates, laughing over champagne, dancing under neon lights, Sophia touching the necklace as if it were hers. Every tap of my finger tightened the knot in my stomach. I imagined every possible disaster, a clasp breaking, someone spilling a drink, a thief noticing the sparkle. At 3:12 a.m., Daniel finally texted, "Relax, Em. Home safe. Necklace is fine. We'll return tomorrow. Best wing woman ever." I didn't respond. My hands were shaking too much. The next morning, Daniel strolled into my apartment at nearly noon, whistling like nothing had happened. He dropped the black velvet box on my counter and poured himself coffee. "There you go. No scratches, no drama. Sophia thinks I'm the most sophisticated man she's ever met. You're a legend." Snapped open the box. The necklace was gone. "Where is it?" My voice came out flat, strangled. "What do you mean?" "It's in the box." His words cut off as he peered inside. empty. For a moment, the room was silent. Then his face drained of color. Wait. No, I swear I put it back. I grabbed his arm. Daniel, think. When did you last see it? He stammered. At the bar. No, wait. Sophia tried it on at the rooftop. She handed it back, I remember. Then we went to the club. My knees nearly buckled. You let her wear it? In public? She loved it, I thought. Don't. Look at me like that. She gave it back. I pulled out my phone and scrolled frantically through his Instagram stories. There she was, smiling, the diamond pendant gleaming against her collarbone. But in the later clips, as the night went on, the necklace was no longer visible. My vision, blurred. My career, my reputation, my entire future, dangling on the edge of disaster because my brother couldn't say no to showing off. We tore apart his apartment, my apartment, his car. Nothing. I called the bar, the rooftop, even the rideshare company. No one had turned in a diamond pendant. Daniel paced like a caged animal. It has to be somewhere. Sophia probably took it off and put it in her bag. My chest tightened. Call her. His face twisted. I don't want her to think I don't trust her. I nearly screamed. Daniel, this is $2 million. Call her or I will. Reluctantly, he dialed. She didn't answer. He left. A voicemail, his tone light, too casual. Hey Soph, fun night. Just wondering if you ended up with that necklace by mistake. No big deal, call me back. I wanted to grab the phone and shake him. No big deal? My hands shook so badly I had to press them against the counter. At 5:47 p.m., my phone rang. An unfamiliar number. I answered instantly. Ms. Carter? This is Detective Lewis from the NYPD. We'd like to speak with you regarding a missing item reported at the Grand Rooftop last night. My blood ran cold. Daniel's face mirrored mine. Pure panic. What missing item? I asked, though I already knew. A guest reported that a diamond pendant, possibly worth several million, may have been misplaced or stolen. Witnesses mentioned your brother's name. I could barely breathe. It was happening. My nightmare was real. That night, my boss called. Somehow, word had already reached the firm. He was polite, controlled, but his words cut like glass. Emily, tell me I'm mistaken. Tell me this isn't true. That our asset was not taken out of custody for a date. I tried to explain, voice shaking. It was a misunderstanding. My brother thought it was costume jewelry. I thought, you thought? His tone sharpened. You were trusted with an item insured for $2 million. You broke chain of custody protocol. Do you realize the liability we face? Tears burned my eyes. I'll find it, I promise. I'll fix this. You have 72 hours, he said coldly, or your career here is over. The line went dead. I collapsed onto my couch, sobbing, while Daniel stood uselessly in the doorway. This is your fault, I choked out. He flinched. I didn't mean, you never mean to, Daniel, but you always do. Do you have any idea what you've cost me? His face hardened defensively. I'm your brother. I thought you'd have my back. You've always bailed me out before. The words sliced through me. He was right. I'd spent years cleaning up after him, and now it might cost me everything. The next 2 days were a blur of fear, guilt, and unanswered calls. Daniel tried Sophia over and over. No response. Texts left on read. Instagram stories still going strong. Brunches, shopping trips, selfies with friends, but no sign of the necklace. Maybe she doesn't even realize she has it. Daniel muttered on repeat, like a child hoping saying it aloud would make it true. But I knew better. People notice when they're handed a diamond pendant the size of a grape. On the third morning, there was a knock at my apartment door. I opened it to find Detective Lewis. Mid-40s, sharp suit, eyes that missed nothing. Ms. Carter, may we come in? Behind him, another officer. Daniel hovered nervously in the kitchen. I nodded, my throat tight. Lewis spoke with professional calm. We've had multiple witness reports confirming your brother was last seen with the necklace. Video footage from the grand rooftop also shows him presenting it to Ms. Sofia Ramirez. She was photographed wearing it later that evening. She hasn't responded to our inquiries. Daniel swallowed hard. So she did take it? The detective's eyes flicked to him. That's what we're investigating, but I'll be clear. Until we recover the item, both of you remain liable. Chain of custody matters. Ms. Carter, the piece was in your possession. Any misuse could be considered negligence or worse. The words negligence or worse echoed in my skull. Lewis handed me his card. Stay available and find her. That evening, Daniel finally convinced Sophia to meet him. Or rather, I convinced him to push harder. We met at a trendy cafe downtown. She arrived 15 minutes late, effortlessly glamorous, her makeup flawless, nails manicured. She kissed Daniel on the cheek, then slid into the booth opposite me, her eyes cool. I was surprised to hear from you, she said, stirring her latte. Thought we had a fun night. Why the sudden intensity? I wasted no time. The necklace, where is it? She blinked innocently. Oh, that. I gave it back. Daniel leaned forward, desperate. Soph, come on. You tried it on, remember? At the rooftop? Did you, maybe, accidentally keep it? Her eyes narrowed. Are you accusing me of stealing? I forced my voice steady. That necklace isn't ours. It's a $2 million company asset. It has to be returned immediately. Sophia's lips curved into a smile, not kind, not nervous. A calculated smile. $2 million? Well, that's news to me. Daniel told me it was just a vintage piece from his family, a keepsake. Daniel paled. Soph, I didn't save it. She slid her phone onto the table, screen up. You know what's interesting? People online loved it. I got so many DMs asking about it. Influencers, collectors, even one from a private buyer. Cold terror stabbed through me. Sophia, this isn't a game. If that necklace has left your possession, her smile sharpened. Relax. I still have it. But after all the attention it got, I started wondering, why should Daniel's boring sister be the one holding on to something so valuable? The words cut like knives. Daniel reached for her hand. Soph, please just give it back. She pulled away, standing. You'll get it when I feel like it. Consider it leverage. And with that, she walked out. I sat frozen, my coffee untouched, every nerve in my body on fire. Daniel buried his face in his hands. I screwed up. God, Em, I screwed up so bad. I wanted to scream, to throw the mug at him, to demand how he could let this happen. Instead, I whispered the truth. If she doesn't return it, I'm ruined. The next morning, my boss called. Again. His voice was clipped, each word measured. We've heard from law enforcement. If the necklace isn't recovered within 24 hours, we'll be filing a formal claim. That means police reports, insurance investigations, legal reviews. Emily, do you understand what that means for you? I do, I whispered. Good. Then fix it, or hand in your resignation. The line went dead. I collapsed on the floor of my kitchen. I'd worked a decade to build this career. Late nights, endless deals, proving myself in a male-dominated industry. And now it was hanging by a thread because I trusted my brother. That night, Daniel sat on my couch, uncharacteristically silent. Finally, he spoke. Em, I'll sell my car, empty my savings, whatever it takes. I'll cover it. I laughed bitterly. Your car is worth $5,000. Your savings? Maybe $2. We're talking about $2 million, This isn't about covering it. It's about trust. About the fact that I risked everything for you, and you treated it like a prop. Tears welled in his eyes. I just wanted to impress her. For once in my life, I wanted to feel like the guy who had it all together. I shook my head. And instead, you proved why you never will. Just when I thought all was lost, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Meet me tomorrow, 2 p.m., Riverside Park. Come alone. Attached was a photo, Sophia holding the necklace. At 1:55 p.m., the wind off the river felt colder than it should in late spring. Joggers passed, dogs pulled leashes, and I stood beneath a bare-limbed elm, my eyes scanning every face. Don't go alone, Detective Lewis had said when I forwarded him the text. I won't, I'd replied. But she insisted. We'll be there, he added. Out of sight. Let her reveal her hand. At 2:07 p.m., Sophia appeared, sunglasses, trench, hair pinned like she'd stepped off a magazine page. She carried a structured leather tote. She didn't wave. She didn't smile. She stopped 6 feet away. You brought company? She asked, eyes flicking past me toward a family on a bench. No, I said. You told me to come alone. She studied me, then set the tote on the bench and slowly unzipped it. The diamond pendant blinked up at me, a cold star in daylight. Here's how this goes, she said, voice low. I give this back. You give me $50,000 for my trouble, and we all move on. For your trouble? My throat tightened. You took a company asset and held it. That's theft, Sophia. There is no payout. Spare me the lecture, she said, sliding the tote closer to her hip. The internet loves this piece. Buyers love it more. $50K is nothing compared to $2 million. You think extortion is a negotiation? I took a breath. You could hand it back right now and walk away before this gets worse. A shadow crossed her face. Quick, calculating. Worse for who? From the corner of my eye, I registered small movements. A woman tying a shoelace for too long. A man pretending to read a map. A cyclist who'd stopped without locking his bike. Detective Lewis's team. Close, but not too close. Why Daniel? I asked softly. Why drag him into this? Her jaw ticked. Because he dragged me into his fantasy. Vintage family piece, he said. A keepsake. He wanted to look like a man who could keep promises he never intended to keep. She tilted her head. You and I both know men like that. A rustle behind us. Daniel, of course, emerged from the path, breathless, guilt written all over him. He lifted his hands like a peace offering. Sophia, please, he said. This is on me. Don't punish my sister for my screw-ups. Just give it back. Her mouth curved. You shouldn't be here. I shouldn't have taken it, he said. I shouldn't have posted it. I shouldn't have lied. I know what I've cost her. I'm asking you to be the person you said you were. Something flickered in her expression. Then it hardened. She slipped a hand into the tote. 50, she repeated. Or it walks. Walks where? Detective Lewis's voice cut through the air, calm and unhurried, as he stepped forward with 2 plainclothes officers. Badges flashed. Ms. Ramirez, I'm going to need you to keep your hands where I can see them and step away from the bag. Sophia froze. For a beat, the only sound was the river knocking softly against the stones. This is ridiculous, she snapped. It was given to me. A gift. Lewis didn't blink. We have footage of you trying it on, and multiple witnesses stating you were told to return it. The item belongs to a registered corporate collection. Step back. Her eyes darted left, right, the quick math look of someone counting exits. She took 2 slow steps away from the bench. An officer lifted the tote, opened it, and nodded once to Lewis. "Thank you," I breathed, my knees threatening to give. My hands had been fists so long my fingers pulsed. Sophia tore the sunglasses off. For the first time, she looked less like an influencer and more like a person who'd just seen a card house collapse. "You think he told me the truth?" She flung a hand toward Daniel. "You think he said, 'Hey, want to wear my sister's multi-million-dollar work asset?' He spun stories. He wanted to be a king. I just tried on the crown." Daniel swallowed. "I'm sorry," he said, voice small. "It isn't me you owe," she shot back. "Ms. Ramirez," Lewis said, steady as stone. "Right now you're facing potential charges for possession of stolen property and attempted extortion. You can cooperate or complicate. Which is it going to be?" She looked at me, really looked, saw whatever raw mix of terror and anger and exhaustion lived on my face. The fight bled out of her shoulders. "I'll cooperate," she said. 2. Officers guided her a few steps away to begin statements. Lewis turned to me. "We'll need you at the precinct to finalize the chain of custody return," he said. His gaze softened a fraction. "You did the right thing calling us in." I nodded. Air finally reached my lungs. The river sounded like a real river again. Somewhere a dog barked. Life resumed its ordinary noises, and then I turned to my brother. "Give me your phone," I said. He blinked. "What?" "Your phone, Daniel. Hand it over." He passed it, confused. I opened his banking app, found the savings he'd mentioned. $5,211 and change. I transferred it to my account and then, without ceremony, deleted every rideshare, bar, and delivery app that had ever called his name at 2 a.m. "Hey," he protested. "What are you—" "Installing your first boundary," I said, keeping my voice even. "Congratulations, you're growing up today." He looked like he might cry or laugh or both. "Not here," I said. "Not now." We watched the officers catalog the pendant, bag it, log it, and hand me a temporary receipt that felt heavier than metal. For the first time in 72 hours, my hands stopped shaking. The precinct smelled like coffee and paper. Forms, signatures, timestamps, every link in the chain reforged, each detail another thread stitching my life back together. When the last page slid across the desk, Detective Lewis capped his pen. "You'll be hearing from the DA," he said. "It's likely Ms. Ramirez will face charges. Your employer will get their property back. Insurance will close the flag." "What about me?" I asked. "The breach, the protocol I broke." He met my eyes. "Own it, then learn from it. That's how bridges get rebuilt." I nodded. "Thank you." "You want my unasked-for advice?" he added, half a smile in one corner. "Whatever conversation you think you're done having with your brother, you're not done. Don't let the relief trick you into letting the pattern continue." "I hear you," I said. "I hope so." My boss didn't make me wait. The next morning, I stood in his glass-walled office, the skyline throwing squares of light across the carpet. "The piece is back," he said, voice even. "Documented, authenticated, undamaged. For that, I'm grateful. For this breach, I'm disappointed." "I understand," I said. "I broke protocol. There's no excuse." "There isn't," he agreed. "But there is context. You came to us immediately. You worked with law enforcement. You recovered the asset in 71 hours. You're good at your job, Emily. One mistake doesn't erase a decade." He slid a document across the desk. 3-month probation, he said. Mandatory security. Retraining. No off-site custody assignments until review. You'll take a temporary pay reduction. And you'll present a training to the team on chain of custody risk, using this as a case study. Heat stung behind my eyes. "Thank you," I said, voice thick. "I won't waste the chance." "I know," he said. "But one more thing. Protect the company and yourself. Boundaries aren't disloyal. They're professional." Message received. That night, Daniel came over with takeout and the awkwardness of a teenager asking to borrow the car. He stood in my doorway, hands jammed into the pockets of a jacket I recognized from a photo of him at a rooftop bar. "Can I come in?" he asked. I let him. We ate on the couch in silence. No TV, no music, just the clink of chopsticks and the hum of the fridge. "I've got a meeting tomorrow," he said finally. "There's a job at a warehouse. Inventory. It's not glamorous, but it's stable. Benefits. Early mornings. They need someone who can count and show up." I waited. "I also canceled my credit cards," he added. "All of them. I kept one debit card. I set spending alerts. I asked Mom to stop bailing me out. She cried. I didn't let her change my mind." I stared at him. He looked different. Not older, exactly, but unarmored. The boy who thought charm could close any gap had put down his tools. "I'm asking for a chance to make it right," he said. "I know sorry is cheap. I know I've said it before. But I'll spend the next year proving it. You set the plan, I'll follow." "Okay," I said. "Here's the plan." I slid a printed sheet across the coffee table, 12-month restitution. Schedule for every dollar I'd moved out of his savings, plus an amount we both knew was symbolic, not literal, against what he'd nearly cost me. Below that, 3 rules. No access to my apartment when I'm not home. No borrowing. Anything. Without written permission. And if he ever used my name to elevate himself again, we were done for a year. No contact, no exceptions. He read it, all. When he looked up, his eyes were glassy, but clear. "I'll sign it," he said. He did. We both did. I put the paper in a hard plastic sleeve like it was precious. "Dan," I said softly, as I stood to walk him to the door. "I love you. That doesn't mean I'll save you from consequences anymore." He nodded. "I know. I think that might be the love I needed." Sophia took a plea. Possession of stolen property, attempted extortion, probation, community service. She posted a video months later about choices and accountability. I didn't watch. Healing sometimes looks like closing tabs you don't need open. At work, I rebuilt. I did the retraining. I taught the seminar. I fielded the hard questions and didn't flinch. 3 months later, my boss called me back into his office. "Probation lifted," he said. "Pay restored. One more condition. You'll shadow our security director on 2 assignments a quarter. Keep your instincts sharp." "I'd like that," I said. I meant it. Daniel kept his job. It wasn't glamorous. It was solid. By the 4th month, he had a morning routine that didn't involve hangovers. He made every restitution transfer on time. He sent screenshots without being asked. On a Saturday in late summer, he showed up with a thrift store bookcase and assembled it in my hallway, because I'd once mentioned the entryway felt empty. He didn't ask for praise. He didn't post about it. He hugged me and went home. Maybe that's what growing up looks like. Smaller gestures, held quietly. People always ask the tidy question. "So, did you forgive him?" As if forgiveness is a switch. As if flipping it lights the room. What I learned is simpler and harder. Forgiveness is a dimmer. You move it 1 notch at a time while you lay new wiring, boundaries, routines, agreements that hold under stress. And if there's a single sentence I carry from the whole mess, it's this. Love needs locks. Trust needs logs. Boundaries don't. Block intimacy. They build it. I still work with pieces worth fortunes. I still sign forms in triplicate and check seals with a flashlight. I still keep a safe in my apartment. but nothing inside it belongs to the company anymore. Chain of custody ends where it should, at the vault. And when I think about the pendant, I don't see diamonds first. I see a line I won't cross again to keep the peace. I see a brother learning to be the person he wanted to pretend to be. I see a woman who thought she was responsible only at work learning to be responsible with her heart. Have you ever done a small favor for family that spiraled way beyond what you imagined? Or had to rebuild trust one boundary at a time? I'd really like to hear how you handled it. Your stories help others feel less alone. Drop a comment with where you're watching from and what you learned. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs the reminder that kindness needs guardrails. I post true, human-centered stories every week. Stories about the moments that test us and the choices that build us. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay clear, and protect the things that matter, especially the ones you can't put in a safe.